Hello and welcome to Movies, Films, and Flicks. I am Mark Hoffmeyer, and joining me is a man that had to do a 20-minute dance and song number before he could come onto this podcast and record. It's John Leavengood.
I mean, anyone listening who's ever met me knows that my life is the dance. I mean, and musical numbers as well. Absolutely.
There is this 30 for 30 about Rocky 4 where they talk about Apollo Creed and how he didn't show up in shape for the Drago exhibition. He showed up in dance shape because he spends 20 minutes, not 20, but 10 minutes dancing to an entire song before he gets to the ring. And they said that he was in dance shape, not fight shape.
I don't want to sound like I'm not appreciative of the Apollo character because I love him and I liked everything they did with him in this movie. But he was such a ham with the pageantry and the dancing and the James Brown concert rolling that I think he deserved to be roasted by Drago. Like Drago made hamburger helper out of him, and I hardly felt badly. I just, there's just the obvious, like, even today after watching that movie, like, I couldn't tell you how many times from start to finish. 20 would be an understatement, but I still always feel like he shouldn't have died. I get why the movie did it.
He shouldn't have.
It would have still been very powerful if he didn't die, if he was just like, I don't know.
Yeah, sorry to jump on you there, but it's kickboxer.
It's like it still would have been brutal. It still would have been soul crushing. You still would have felt tremendously for his wife. This didn't create a whole lot of value added. Again, I understand though, they're just, let's just max out, right, the drama factor on it. But boy, when he goes down and he's wrestling, they say he was 225 fighting 261 back in a day when like the only tall, fast boxer like in history at that point was like maybe George Foreman. Yeah. Because it's way, way pre Lennox Lewis, right? Mm-hmm. It's way pre Klitschko brothers.
Yeah, and their jabs.
Right? It's like, so this is like, Creed was probably going in thinking like boxers of the early 90s did. Like when Chris Bird first fought Lennox Lewis, he wasn't even worried that the dude had 40 or 50 pounds on him. He's like, oh, he's big. He's going to be slow. I'm going to chop him down. And then he got hosed, but he didn't die.
You watch MMA now too, and when you think about the heavyweights of yonder, they had the guts. They were big and strong, and then you get to Cain Velasquez, Junior Dos Santos, Stipe Miocic, Francis Ngannou. You get to these heavyweights, they're an Ivan Drago league of just tall and huge and fast and dangerous. And I listened to an hour and a half documentary about the editing of the Rocky IV director's cut. And during it was filmed during the pandemic, I believe in 2020 or 2021. But Stallone said, I don't know why I did that. He's like, I never should have killed Apollo. He's like, I could have put him in a wheelchair. Like even, the director's cut focuses more on the fighter's way, the fighting spirit. So even if he sees his best friend get whooped by Drago and then get called out, he's gonna be like, I gotta avenge him. He gives Apollo a black eye. Like Rocky's like, listen, this is Adrian. This is me. I'm a fighter. I've fought. Like I'm here. I've lost myself a little bit. I'm going to go back, get into nature, kind of like Creed 3 does. I'm going to get back into nature. I'm going to go train in the wilderness, and I am going to crush this guy. So it's, that's all you got to do. But this movie grossed more than any other Rocky film. It's the highest grossing Rocky movie. It made $300 million worldwide. And when you look at inflation, it made $327 million just domestic. And it's been on every single cable channel for 38 years. So who are we to say, right?
Original Rocky got an Oscar, right?
Yeah.
But like, to me, this is, how do I put it? Like, yeah, I guess Rocky is the best film in that it almost has to be because everything afterwards is built on it. But to me, this is at least as good a film, even though it's different. It's, Rocky is understated and this is overstated in many ways. But this is a fantastic movie. And I actually wouldn't use that phrasing for original Rocky.
That's a film. And
right.
I would say Rocky Balboa, Creed, and Rocky are films. And then I would say that Rocky 2, 3, 4, Creed 2, Creed 3 are like movies. But I think this one though is, the original. We forget about how abusive Paulie was, right? You forget about his relationship with Adrian. You forget about his boxing matches. It was gritty. It was grimy. That's not a movie you watch every day. But Rocky IV has 30 minutes of montages or flashbacks to prior films. They're either thinking about Rocky III, they're watching fights from Rocky I, or they're going over the entire franchise. It just zaps by. It is boom, 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 boom. Drago is a great-looking villain, great fighter. The final fight in the 80s, it was based on the Russian doping scandal. Stallone also based this on Max Schmeling versus Joe Louis. Their two fights that they had back in the day between Nazi Germany and the United States, and so he combined all these elements, the rah-rah spirit. He knocks out Drago. Drago gets redemption. Apollo's dead, which is insane. But I feel like it's the most watchable out of all of them. Like, he doesn't lose. Like, Rocky III, he loses, right? You're like, man, dude got beat. And then he comes back and wears him out. Rocky II is good. Great. I mean, Apollo, no one matches the charisma of Carl Weathers, but it's great. But like, 4 is just, put it on TNT. I'm leaving it on.
4, you know what 4 is? The others, well, maybe part 3, but part 3 is almost like the B movie madness of the Rocky movies, and part 5 is just, I'm sorry. Some people have some defenses for it, but I think it's awful. At least by comparison. Maybe that's it's awful for a Rocky movie, but 4 for me is exhilarating. Right? I mean, it's also inspirational, and Rocky 1 is inspirational. Rocky 2 is inspirational. Rocky Balboa is. But this is the movie out of all of them that I find pretty much exhilarating in the beginning, the middle, and the end, at least at one point. Right? Whereas I think that Rocky Balboa, the final fight wasn't exhilarating for me. The training montage was, but it was one segment. It was one montage that was exhilarating. And I think that this one gives you the very beginning, the preface, right? It gives you the Apollo fight. It gives you his training montage and the final fight. And they all deliver. Even the stock footage in the beginning, it's delivered well. It takes you on a nice journey. This movie is the exhilarating Rocky.
Mm-hmm. I 100% agree with you. And listen, I think there's a scene in Rocky Balboa where he pulls a chair down from a tree to sit next to Adrian's grave. That moment has more thought and care and pathos than the entirety of Rocky IV. But Rocky IV is the most watchable. It's frustrating every time that Apollo dies because he's getting slaughtered for about 14 minutes and Rocky's just sitting there with the towel and like, you idiot. He's like, let me die. Let me die. Like, no, don't let him die. Don't stop. Like, that's the frustrating part. But then he's like, you know what? I'm going to go to Russia and I'm just going to train. And then Drago's going to punch expensive machinery and use steroids. And then we're going to have a killer final fight where I win over Russia and end the Cold War. I don't know. I like it. And you know what's nice too? Rocky, he has to get the fight. Rocky 2, he lost the fight and he has to win the fight. Rocky 3, he loses the fight. And then he has to win the fight. Rocky 4, he's like, I'm just going to avenge my buddy. And I'm going to go train in the snow. They filmed it in Canada. But still, like, I'm going to go train in there. And then I'm going to beat up Drago, who's a great villain. And, while watching that documentary, Stallone said that when you talk to Dolph Lundgren, he's very articulate. He's a Fulbright scholar, a chemical engineer. So he's like, I had to take, he's like, I didn't take his dialogue away because of his acting. I took his dialogue away because you like the guy. And so he has 9 lines. And so you just say a few of those lines. But it's a good villain. When the director's cut has him when he comes up on the ring when he's about to fight Apollo, which is a weird entrance. He's kind of looking like a kid. Like, what am I looking at? And he sticks up for himself. He eventually gets some agency. And I think maybe Creed 2 makes the story even more sad when you watch it now.
Oh, that crush. Even as I'm watching this at the end after Rocky's like touching but simple but poignant speech after he wins. And, like, if I can change, maybe we can all change. It's real nice. You get a little bro tear. And I'm sitting there and I'm shaking my head to myself like, but after this, his wife leaves him. He gets renounced by his country and he loses everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, in a way, just knowing what happens to him 5 movies later, but what presumably happened immediately after this, right? And that really, in a way, I don't like that now. It's value removed from me in a way from Creed 2 because Now, when I watch Rocky IV and the Russians get up and start clapping at that speech in appreciation, it's like Creed II violated what we saw at the end of that movie. I realize why they're doing it. They're cultivating tension and drama and hardship. But I feel like that's not the ending that we saw that would lead to that.
You don't think the Russian leaders were clapping because everyone else was? And they're like, okay, we got to put on a show for the world. And then they look to the side when the camera's off and they do this. They do a finger across the throat.
But we don't see that.
Yeah,
I believed them when they got up a little nonplussed and started clapping one after the other. I believed it. And, maybe because I want to, but I think the movie wants me to want to.
I also want to defend Rocky's speech at the end of the movie.
I love it.
Because, I've had some boxing matches before, John, where all I wanted to do afterwards was puke. Or all I wanted to do afterwards was just go sit down or run around because it was a good win. So, you've been punched in the head 7,000 times. The amount of accuracy. So, like, they have the stats on this movie where, like, 91% of their power punches land. Like, he's just getting hit so hard in these fights by a guy who hits with 2,000 pounds of force, which is harder than what Hobbs. He only hits with a force of 1,235 pounds, and he's a monster in Hobbs and Shaw. So you're fighting a guy who could punch your head off. So Rocky's been rocked many times. Of course he's not going to be like, listen, y'all, the Cold War is difficult. I understand that we are different nations who come from different places, and we all dealt with the fallout of World War I and World War II differently, and we have different rulers, and we have different types of government, and our people are completely different. But and then because of that, because of after the war, and then because of tensions, and because of this, and because of like all of this, we are different. Now he's like, no, like y'all change, we change, like we'll be best friends. Like I love that speech because the fact that he can even say those words after getting hit that hard by Drago, it makes it believable and very earnest. If that makes sense to you.
Again, I thought it was great writing.
Yeah.
Or not great writing from a speech writing perspective, but it was a great speech coming from someone who was, I'll say in air quotes, as articulate as Rocky.
Yeah.
Like Rocky is not the most intelligent person, but he has cultivated a lot of wisdom through humility and hardship. And like, so that's what we're hearing. We're not hearing the $5 vocabulary words, right? Or the art of war or some Chinese proverb wisdom. It's simple, earned humility and appreciation.
The robot didn't come on to the ring and make a speech. And Polly's like, oh, I'm going to have her wires crossed.
Dude, I like how Polly, though, was literally terrified by that robot. And then later she's singing and she has the different voice. And he's like, yeah, I reprogrammed her.
My girl.
Like, yeah, that's my girl.
The director's cut got rid of her. So the robot
it
left.
Is weird. It's super weird.
Yeah. It's an odd, but like, Stallone said so he said that he made 1, 2, and 3. Obviously he didn't direct 1, he directed 2 and 3. With 4, he just wanted to try something different. MTV was kicking off, and he just wanted to try to make it more, I don't know, funny. And he was rich. And like, how do you separate yourself? Like in the 80s, right? Robots were everywhere, dude. Like RoboCop wasn't out yet, but you have Short Circuit. Like, you have just robots everywhere. So, you know what, John? I feel like in the 90s or 80s, if people in a movie had a robot, you're like, they got money. For something like that, just associate. So you have 2 Lamborghinis or Ferraris. You have a robot, you have a mansion. That's just, nowadays it's a Roomba. But I think that showcased the money and like the disconnect that he had. But I gotta tell you, man, like we're listening to Stallone talk about this movie and why he cut it and his regrets. Like he said he wanted to spend more time showing that his wealth was empty. And he wanted to show more time talking about the warrior spirit and like the long-term repercussions and all of this. But then he was watching footage for the director's cut. He's like, I've never seen that footage before. I had that. He's like, I could have made this movie. And the guy filming him was like, I was there, man. You haven't seen this footage before? He's like, no. He's like, wait, what? He's like, how many times did you watch this movie? He's like, yeah, I probably watched it like 100. He's like, you didn't know you had this extra footage? And then there's another scene where he's go, hey, like there's a scene where Apollo has gloves on here and he doesn't have it now. He's like, and I just caught that. He's like, can you seen the movie 100 times? It's hilarious, man. But he wanted this to be much more of I think at first he wanted it to be more of a Rocky Balboa movie where he deals with being rich and losing himself and getting back to the streets and all of that. But instead it's just an absolute lean, mean exhilaration machine with 30 minutes of montages.
And this was the beginning of his Tom Brady phase, where 3 movies in a row he comes out of retirement.
But I gotta tell you, I have a theory. Do you know why I think this movie made the most of all the Rocky films?
Because it's the best.
Okay, I don't know if you're gonna like this or hate this, but
Dolph Lundgren's a beautiful man. That's probably a good reason for the villainy too.
Yeah, and he how many pounds of oil does he wear in this movie?
All of them. He wears all the pounds. He's the reason whales are going extinct, man.
Wait, is he 265 because of the oil?
Like, yeah, there's 5 pounds of oil.
Mm-hmm. All right, so I'm gonna run some things by you. Now, let's think about Rocky. In the meat locker, punching the meat, running with the sweats on, ice skating. It's cold, right? You get chills. It's very chilly. Expendables 2, the highest grossing Expendables film. It's the one where they're wearing jackets and in the mountains, and it's cold. And when JCVD kills Hemsworth. Then you have Rocky 4, which is in the mountains, it's cold, and he's training. Then you have Cliffhanger, which made $255 million in 1993.
Is that adjusted or not adjusted?
That's not adjusted. So, I mean, if we adjusted this, it's huge.
That's a lot.
So it was a blockbuster. He's cold and in the mountains. Creed, he's wearing a jacket on all the promo stuff. Then you have Demolition Man, $159 million. He's frozen.
You see his testicles.
Yeah. And he, on top of seeing his testicles, he's frozen, right? He is in the cold. He's cold. He's a block of ice. Now let's look at First Blood. Mountains.
That was chilly.
Chilly. So if we look at his probably most famous films, so you have Rocky, you have First Blood, you have Rocky 4, you have, Copland, good movie, not chilly, but it wasn't a blockbuster. So I'm saying like his Expendables 2, that's his only fresh Expendables. It's looked at as the best, and it's cold, and it's in the mountains. Cliffhanger, 68%, blockbuster. Demolition Man, so most of his films that have good critical scores and made money, most of them. Now there are some ones that didn't do well, like I See You, but his big blockbusters feature him near mountains and cold. One or the other, or both.
So he has troll blood in him. Is that what we're saying?
Yes, he has troll blood. So do you think that's a pattern for him? In Driven, should he have done a sled race instead of an F1 race?
Oh, Driven's a wonderful movie.
I'm gonna pitch some movies to you, John, and you're gonna tell me if they would have been better where they were or in a cold temperature. Okay. So The Specialist takes place in Miami. What if it took place in, let's see, so it takes place in Miami.
Winter in Prague.
Winter in Prague.
I'm going to say Winter in Prague would be more interesting. And cheaper to film.
Stop or My Mom Will Shoot. Nome, Alaska? Or wherever it took place.
I don't think they're... Look, I'm going to defend that movie's quality. I enjoy it. Not that I go revisiting it much, but I don't think that cold would have helped it. The flaws that kept that movie from proper appreciation, I think, will just melt down whatever ice you have dreamed up.
Judge Dredd. You have the gigantic city or a gigantic city in Antarctica.
Now, when they released The Judge, that's right, it was dry. It wasn't cold. Or it wasn't freezing. But it was chilly. He was all wrapped up in garbs. The judge, the high judge, who was that, Max von Sydow? Is that who that was? Yeah. He was heavily robed up, but it was just a dry waste, right? Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I don't know if the visuals would have been as good. If it was a hard R Judge Dredd though, instead, and then you could have the blood splatter in the snow. So I'm going to say R-rated plus cold.
Oh, I love it. All right, last one. We've talked about this movie on the podcast. No, I got 2 more for you. Let's see. Driven. We've talked about that movie. Would it be better on the F1 tracks, or would it be better if it was a sled race through Bulgaria in winter?
I love that movie, so I don't want to change it. So what I want to do instead is pull like a Death Race 2, where it gets even more over the top, and part 2 is in the winter somewhere.
Okay. All right. That's fair.
I like Driven too much. I don't want to tamper with that one. I don't want to think it would be better if it was cold. And I don't think those drivers would have been dealing with that, would they?
I mean,
that's why you need the over the top sequel.
If Ferrari paid them enough, they would. If you had F1 money and sled racing, like dog sled racing, it would be a thing.
Like I'd want to Death Race it up. And he was in Death Race 2000.
He was.
Back in 1975 or so.
And what if Rennie Harlan, who does great with snow movies, by the way, Devil's Pass, Die Hard, Long Kiss Goodnight, Cliffhanger.
All good movies, but people, you really need to hone in on the Devil's Pass, because you probably heard him say that and didn't know what the hell that was.
It's fun.
It's a really cool, weird horror movie.
So what if Rennie Harlan directed it? The dog sled race.
I still prefer my over the top sequel idea. Can it be a sequel though? Can't it be Driven 2? Snow Driven?
Yes. Snow Drift.
Snow Drift.
Last one. So I learned this over the top. You know that Stallone was at the University of Miami, and they had a really huge guy on campus that was like the Adonis of all the people on campus. And Stallone arm wrestled him, but Stallone started barking at him and getting all like jacked up and angry. And he got inside the guy's head and won. And then the guy was like never the same again because Stallone psyched him out mentally. So that's why we have Over the Top. That's why we have some of the Rocky movies where it's like a pit bull. So what if they had Over the Top, but what if over the top of the mountain in the Italian Alps, and it's arm wrestling? And so
the grandfather is like an Italian corrupt businessman?
Yes.
And with a thin mustache?
And he's trying to get a snowplow.
I like it. Are we replacing Robert Loggia with Michael Caine from Dirty Rotten Scoundrels with the slick back dark hair?
Yes, whatever you want.
Because I think I can get on top of it. You know what else? I kind of like the idea that you're in like this heavy, big winter coat, almost like Vin Diesel in Triple X. Remember, he's got although nothing under it on his chest, but this big like heavy coat. And when you take it off, you're already like sweating and glistening in your tank top for the arm wrestling match. Like it's super like sensationalized.
I like it.
A lot of warm filter filming, close up with the light refracting off the beads of sweat rolling down his big like snake like vein on his bicep.
Oh man, I got big Indiana Jones vibes from the first one when Marion's drinking the shots and it's all cold outside.
Mm-hmm.
It's cold outside where Marion is, right? With the fire. Yeah.
Yeah, they were in the Himalayas or something, weren't they?
Yeah. All right.
Or Nepal.
I think that's good. I think we covered that. But that was my theory, John. I just noticed that a lot of good Stallone happens in the cold.
So I have this idea, by the way, that Van Damme and or a little more than Van Damme was very inspired by this, because Rocky IV's revenge component, we already mentioned, it's very much like Kickboxer, and it's a little like Bloodsport in a way, like not that these revenge themes were new to Rocky IV, but in a high profile American movie, I feel like it was in this way, whereas 70s kung fu movies had this. You know, the Masters.
You killed my brother.
Right. But I don't think that we really had this outside of vigilante movies in American cinema yet. And so, like, but you had this very rock music scored revenge montage, Rocky in the car, Frank Dukes on the bus.
Yeah.
Also, it was like a quiet rock, like a soft rock, where he's seeing the visions of Chong Li, right? Maybe like Rocky is outrunning his chaperones in the snow. Dukes is toying with his perpetrators in the streets
Forrest Whitaker
of Hong Kong. Bloodsport is very Rocky IV-ish. And I don't know, the boxing match at the end of Rocky IV even has sort of a more, not somber, a greater gravity of buildup than most Rocky fights, and it's in the same way of the gravity of the preparation of the final fight in the Kumite.
Oh, wow. And
with the elders looking from on high, the special viewing thing for the Russians up there. Like and then at the end, the way the Russians stand up in appreciation to the win, just like they do, right, in deferment to Chong Li or appreciation of Van Damme. I feel like, you know how there are these rumors, a lot of rumors, that Frank Dukes just made all this crap up about the Bloodsport story?
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe he came up with it after he saw Rocky IV.
I mean, not many people are going to be able to fact check it. It's the 80s. So it's all word of mouth, and it's underground, and it's supposed to be hush hush. And so he just took the televised element out of it.
Right.
And just, I like it. Because there's a lot of similarities there.
But I'm going to say even Kickboxer, though.
And they learned
Kickboxer
from this because
less.
they didn't kill the trucker guy from Bloodsport, and they didn't kill the brother from Kickboxer. They just hurt him. And said,
badly. Like, where like when it happened, you're like, is he paralyzed or is he dead?
Mm-hmm.
Or like, did he kill Donald Gibbs or did he just give him a concussion and a like a displaced mandible?
Yeah. Wait, a broken orbital. Because he stomps on his head.
Yeah, dude, he like jumping stomps on his skull. Not that we see it, but.
So yeah, I don't know. What do you think, man? What do you think about my Stallone is cold?
I think it's a good. Well, it's stronger than my Van Damme hypothesis. Definitely. You've definitely come across a strong correlation.
Yeah. I'm not gonna say causation, but for some reason, cold and mountains work for him. Because Rocky IV, First Blood, cliffhanger, mountains. And I mean, listen, Rocky, he climbs steps. I guess that helps. That's not high ground though. But he's cold. Demolition Man, he's cold. So yeah, that's just where I'm at. It's an odd thing. The problem with Rocky IV is it's like there's 3 full songs in this movie that Stallone commissioned. Like he commissioned. I have the bands right here. James Brown. Let's see. Oh man, where are they? Oh, the live performance by James Brown, and then he also has the songs by Survivor's Hearts on Fire.
They played that like 3 times in the movie.
Because he commissioned 3 songs for this by James Brown, Survivor, and John Capper.
Did he commission War?
I don't
think
that's
song. That's the song that plays after 1.5 rounds when he starts to bring it to Ivan Drago.
Oh. Wait, is that John Caffer? Did he do that song War?
I think that song is War. Back when I was doing martial arts tournament stuff like over 20 years ago, that was the most used musical kata song, even like 15 years after that movie made it popular.
Oh, Survivor and John Caffer. Oh, wow. So people are still doing that?
Well, I mean, back in the mid to late 90s and early 2000s.
And I apologize, it's John Cafferty, but you had Survivor, but you know what though? The soundtrack sold over 1 million copies and hit number 10 on Billboard's Top 200. So
kind of like Bloodsport had so many, especially.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Van Damme followed suit.
Listen, Tarantino, the John Wick guys, they all say just steal wholesale, like the steal, just do it. Like, there's an entire motorcycle chase in John Wick 3 that's almost directly from the villainess, and they're like, yes, so what? Like there's a mirror scene that's pretty Enter the Dragon. So everyone's like, yeah, just do it. It's fine. Just say you're doing it. We appreciate it. But like he had to do these though because he just was like, hey, I want you 3 to make songs and I'll play the entirety of them in the movie.
They're good songs though.
Yeah, so, no, they're bangers.
Power to them.
And he's just driving in his car during an entire scene with an entire song and flashbacks. But it works though. So this is an odd one where Stallone got hit, right? A lot of people are like, why'd you kill Apollo? Why is this all montages? Why? Like what happened here? But it's the highest grossing Rocky film. It's lived for eternity. Drago is one of the most recognizable villains of cinema. I'm just gonna say it, of cinema. Like, I must break you. Like, people, if he dies, he dies. Like, people know his lines.
You will lose.
So you know what bothers me about Stallone, and he even said this during the documentary. I think he is a wildly smart man. And you know, I learned today what happened to him at birth. Why did you hear what happened to him at birth? his mom had a rough pregnancy, so he had to get pulled out with but while
not calipers. I know what you mean.
But while he was being birthed, they had to put some forceps on, but they got squeezed on his face, and he got nerve damage in his face. That's why he talks the way he does. So it's not a shtick. At birth he had nerves wrecked. So I mean, like, I think sometimes people look at him and they're like, oh, Rambo 3, Rambo 2, Assassins. But I think this is a man who, like, I know he got stuck in the action genre, but this is a man who, like, risked everything to make Rocky. This is a guy who did one of the most, like, First Blood is a very not sentimental, but it's a good movie. It's almost a film, First Blood, in regards to many. Like, he went to, I mean, Rocky Balboa, Copland. Like, this is a guy who I think he has a side to him where he wants to make, like, he did Rhinestone. This dude will take chances. I think
that was with Dolly Parton, right?
Yeah, and I think he just got pegged in the 90s, right? In the excess of it. I mean, think about Hollywood. But he had the restaurant chain, and he was getting paid $20 million and getting Versace to work on Judge Dredd. Like, I think he got caught up a lot in the excess of the late 80s, 90s. But he seems to come out like, this is a guy you're like, where's Stallone been? Then Rocky Balboa comes out and you're like, holy crap. And then Rambo comes out and you're like, holy crap. And then Creed comes out and you're like, holy crap. Like, this guy has found ways since the 70s, and in every single decade, before Cliffhanger came out, he was on a ton of duds. Like, he was on Stop or My Mom Will Shoot. He had made, so he had done Lock Up, Rocky 5, Oscar, and Stop or My Mom Will Shoot. So he was really on the downswing. And then Cliffhanger comes out, and Demolition Man, that's his 93, explodes.
I like Daylight too.
Yeah, Daylight's good. Yeah, like, he had a great run in the 90s. And then he started kind of fading off again in the 2000s. But then he storms back with Rambo and Rocky Balboa. And then he jumps on the Expendables. And then now he's in, like, the Tulsa King, which is one of the most watched shows on cable. He pops up in Guardians of the Galaxy. He's Oscar nominated for Creed. Like, this is a guy who, from the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s, and now 2020s, has found a way to stay, for lack of a better term, relevant and stay in the conversation and almost evolve where a lot of actors have not. So he's very clearly a super smart man. So I always love listening to him talk. And one of my favorite things, John, that we talked about was on the Driven commentary, where he does, 45 minutes of commentary on deleted scenes. Mm-hmm. And he laments about how they were taken out. But I think he cares that much about cinema. And even though he rags on himself, like, he says he would have done a lot different, and that's why he did the director's cut of Rocky 4, he's still a wildly smart man who made one of the most iconic films. Like, Rocky 4's iconic, correct?
Dude, it's the best Rocky movie, period.
So I admire Stallone. That whole long spiel, John, was about me admiring how Stallone will do. It's like, hey, well, he hasn't done a hit in a while, Rocky Balboa. And then that speech about the beast inside him, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to cry. So I don't know. I just admire the way he's kept at it and stuck with it, and like scraped and clawed. And I mean, I know he got $20 million for movies and whatever, but I love him as a filmmaker, and I'm glad we have him, because he just sort of comes out of nowhere for 5 decades. Like 6 decades, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s, 2020s.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute. And Expendables 4 is coming out, even though it looks like he's taking a more background role with Jason Statham stepping up, but he's still keeping his product going.
Yeah,
just like the Creed movies, right? It's
and he's smart. He teamed up with Taylor Sheridan, who, I know he's having some issues with Costner now, but the Sheridan universe with 1883, 1923, Mayor of Kingstown, Yellowstone's probably was the biggest show on TV. And they teamed up with him. It's like, the guy knows what's going on. I dig it. I really dig it. I just don't dig a couple of his movies. But everyone's going to make bad movies.
You got to take, if you're not taking chances.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You take chances, and yeah, you might misfire. You just hope that it's after you have a couple wins and you don't get blacklisted for a while.
Yeah, that's But I don't know. I just admire that about him. Like, I think sometimes people forget how good First Blood and the first Rocky are. And then I think films became movies, became flicks.
I mean, by Rambo 3, it's a flick. Rambo 3 is absolutely a flick. And I think it's exactly why Weird Al Yankovic farced it in UHF, where he had the fake muscle suit.
Oh, I got hired. I've been hired twice to figure out who the most accurate archer is. And it's Rambo. He's
it's
more
not
accurate.
Legolas?
He has better stats than Legolas.
He has better stats than Legolas.
Kill shots. It's like, remember in Two Towers? Legolas is headshotting everyone, but then the one troll that's running with the flame, he hits him in both shoulders. Like, there are times when Legolas does miss, or something moves, or it's not an immediate kill shot. Rambo, he kills for lack of a better term, the ever-living shit out of everything he hits.
I think Rambo also, though, he has, what do you call it?
Explosive
those bows that have the more wire, the wire. Like, yeah. It's like you literally need to be strong enough to pull it all the way back. And he's using, no joke, they are bigger arrows. And when those things hit someone, they're getting knocked down like they got hit by a small spear. Yeah. Like they're getting knocked off their feet by these arrows. Whereas Legolas, it's like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's a great point. Yeah, when you said small spear, I pictured a small spear thrown by Nathan Jones.
You mean like in Troy?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And
but he's shooting bigger arrows. He's very fast at it, but it's not like Legolas really is, like, mm-hmm. And Stallone's going at like half that pace. But every time he even pulls it back, it's almost like you're like, I don't even think I can do that. With that big compound metal bow.
Very American.
With like a piano cord for a wire. Like that thing's straight up cutting through people.
Man, and of course then he has explosives on it. You're like, oh my gosh. But yeah, he's more accurate than Katniss. He's more accurate than Hawkeye. He's more accurate than Legolas. So I watched the movie. Yeah, because Hawkeye misses Black Panther several times. He does miss some shots.
He's got to miss Black Panther, doesn't he?
I mean,
Black Panther is literally a superhero, though.
Yeah, but
Hawkeye is a dude.
But listen, if we're just talking arrows shot at things, Rambo has the most accuracy and just he doesn't miss.
But he's shooting at a bunch of dudes who like never had serious training. They were just handed machine guns and told to harass people.
Hey, listen, if Messi goes down to the fifth league and scores 30 goals. No, not Messi. If Kylian Mbappe goes down to the fifth league and scores 30 goals, it's still 30 goals.
Okay. I mean,
I'm not denying.
I'm just saying it's a slightly different playing field.
Listen, I know Katniss has more stress on her because it's death, and he's just blowing people up. But when you can nail somebody from 100 yards away while you're hanging from a tree, you've done something right. While pulling a compound bow with an explosive tip. Remember on Hot Shots Part 2 when he tries to screw on all the arrowheads? And that guy keeps looking for him and eventually kills him with a chicken?
The chicken, yeah.
I love those movies. But yeah, those movies became farcical. But you watch these movies, you watch his early stuff and they don't. So I don't know. This movie goes by so quick too, John. It was tailor-made for TV.
I'm with you. It's almost constantly high energy. There's very little downtime or exposition build up. I mean, even scenes that shouldn't be the most memorable scenes. Dude, when they did the pre-fight press conference with Apollo Creed, like that's a good giggle fest, right? And then when they do the pre-fight press conference with Rocky and Drago, I mean, that was interesting. Like, not since Tyson Fury said he could knock out Francis Ngannou even after 15 pints have I seen such a wild press conference with Drago v. Balboa. There's literally been 40 years where it took another press conference to be as entertaining as the Rocky v. Drago press conference. 40 years.
Are you going to order that fight?
I want to see that. Well, is that really going to happen?
They're talking about it. Fury said it's a good.
First he made the 15 pints comment, and then he started talking about how he was going to fight two different guys, Francis and then someone else back to back. And then I started hearing that they were coming up with some strange convoluted rules that had no knockdowns.
Oh gosh.
I don't know if I'm getting rumors or what, but now it's going into such circus territory where it's going to be some weird exhibition match with irregular rules. That's where I start to lose interest.
I mean, if Conor McGregor can make, what, 50 to 100 million to fight Floyd Mayweather, and Jake Paul can make 30, 40 million dollars to fight Floyd Mayweather, money talks. And these guys want money.
But weren't they doing real rules? They were doing standard rules, weren't they? It might have been a difference in round time or something like that.
I just think there were, I forget what the rules were with Jake Paul and Floyd Mayweather. Oh, no. Yeah. I do know that Floyd Mayweather knocked Jake Paul out and then caught him and then helped him back up. So something fishy was up. But
maybe they were doing a no knockdown as well.
Yeah. If those fights happen, they can make and he said, Fury said that Ngannou would make 10 times more money than he ever would at the UFC. So, which actually is quite plausible. But why not? Who else does Fury have to fight?
I'm more interested in the 15 pints. Now he's a very big man. I realize he's a very big man, but to actually drink 15 pints, dude, boxers normally aren't even taking too many sips of water during a boxing match. So if you have 15 pints, I want to know in what time frame after the 15 pints, and in what time frame you consume the 15 pints before this fight. I want the 15-pint fight.
Bathroom a lot.
Just out there in the ring.
Yeah. No, John, if it could be Guinness, right? 4.2%. Would he do 15 with nitro too? That's pretty easy to drink. And he's 280 pounds.
Well, I'm thinking more just of the fluid volume
that
true. He'd be carrying while taking hits.
Imagine
if he's getting hit, he's an amazing dodge. But right, he's so intuitive. I'm talking too much about Tyson Fury now. But when that guy came out though, I was like, I just can't wait to see someone knock him on his ass. And then I start seeing so many replays and highlights and how good he's an intuitive dodge like a 5'6" boxer. He's like a Chris Bird.
Mm-hmm.
He's really fast. And or the insightfulness is most of it, right? Like Drago, he was just taking hits. He's just like, I'm going to let you hit me, Apollo, for approximately 4 minutes, a whole round and then another minute. As I learn your game, I presume is what that was, right? I'm going to learn your game. You're just going to keep hitting me. I'm hardly dodging. And then later, he starts dodging punches. You notice that too? Mm-hmm. Even against Rocky, in the beginning, he'll take hits, and then several rounds in, he remembers, oh right, I can dodge these, as he's figuring out your game.
And listen, you got to take a couple hits. You got to get in there to learn once you get that pattern figured out. And I guess the one thing too, going back to Drago, but if you look at Rocky, if you look at Tyson Fury, they were fighters. They were on the streets. They grew up fighters. So I think they were fighters first, and then they became athletes. So you look at Drago, he was just born in a lab to destroy folks. So when he got cut, when Rocky's iron everything on his body did not get knocked out, that shook him. And I like that storyline too, because he's not, I don't know, Rocky's pretty smart. I mean, his head would have been in the stands, in probably the 5th row. But I like that Drago had never been pushed like that. And he probably boxed he had a bunch of training partners who were probably tomato cans they knocked out. So once he got cut, once he found that he was boxing the man with the hardest head on the planet, I like that he got shook. There's at least some storytelling to this final fight, and I dig it.
Yeah, I mean, it's so good that they play on that concept in Rocky Balboa. Remember, the current champ was the champ, but the champ was bothered by analysts because they're saying he's never had a real contender like Rocky did. And then they did the little analytics where it's like Rocky in his prime versus so-and-so in his prime. Rocky wins! Some silly little mock-up. And then, of course, Rocky's got to come out, right? But that's just it. I mean, if you have people can be the best without ever having to work like other people who were the best. It doesn't mean they didn't work.
Yeah.
Right. But they haven't learned hardship or defeat on their journey, and that is their weakness.
Yeah.
Mike Tyson, what was it? He said, everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the face. Well, Drago's so big that punching him in the face doesn't do it. But Drago had a good plan until he got cut.
Yep.
And until he actually had to fight for 3 or 4 rounds, let alone 12, right?
When you learn that you're mortal, that definitely shakes you. And it showed. Like, I dug that about him. And I like that he slowly became more like, I fight for me. And then he lifts that one dude right up in the air. So I do kind of like his arc in this. But like, what do you think makes Drago? Also, too, I mean, if you look at what Rocky Marciano and Muhammad Ali, they did that mock-up fight between the two of them, and they said that Marciano would win between Muhammad Ali. So I like that Stallone digs for actual boxing lore and then incorporates that into his movies. Like, that's another smart thing that the dude does. But what do you Drago is iconic, John. Why is Drago iconic?
Well, I can give you a couple of reasons. I think, well, first off, we were talking about, you had mentioned how in the beginning when Apollo is fighting, when they're staging the fight for Apollo's doing all the pageantry and Drago's just looking around. It's not necessarily childlike, but it's on the verge of confused, or what is going on here? Or I haven't really been here before with this level of pageantry and showmanship and all. I've just boxed people and knocked them out, right? And then at the end, when Rocky comes out, Drago is presented, and here we are. It's just like, a couple months later, and Drago enters the arena for the final match. He is depicted, and I mean from both the director and the Russians, with a frightful, godlike reverence. Right? And I get also it's home field, his people who think he's amazing versus the opposite. But when he's coming up, not granted he's stolid, he keeps his crap together when he's in America for Apollo. But it doesn't necessarily look like he's shaking it off. He also doesn't necessarily look phased, but he's not giving us a reason to fear him by his reaction, right? And then later he does. But I think another thing is that even though you say he's such an iconic villain, I agree wholeheartedly. Even from the beginning, in a way, not it's not like a strong note of his character in the beginning. I find that he's sympathetic. You're coming from Russia. You're hated. You're hated just because of that. Everyone knew that when they were watching the movie in 1985. You know what I mean? And if we have an appreciative history, we know what it was like back then. So he's coming in hated. He's trying to keep his cool. He doesn't speak. He lets everyone speak for him. I do feel for him a bit. And everyone's talking crap to him. Apollo's talking crap to him. He talks no crap back. He keeps his cool. He wins his fight. Later, he's getting death threats. I think a lot of viewers aren't super compassionate to that because he killed Apollo Creed. It's not like he was trying to murder him. Dude just wouldn't throw in the towel.
If he dies, he dies.
but he's not trying to. It's just matter of fact. He could have quit. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I do find something sympathetic. And then, of course, yes, everything with the when you see how hard he's trained, by the way, even though his training is very intimidating, that montage, you see him, and Rocky does too, grimacing in pain, this, that, and the other. But people aren't rooting him on. They're watching him with a goddamn clipboard. Yeah,
he's a machine.
Right, and they're treating him like one. Mm-hmm. Like it's cold to him while he's going through this. And then, of course, there's the fight, right, where we hear him finally speak for himself truly. It's when he finally starts speaking a bit about Rocky's qualities instead of just saying, like, I can't believe this. I gotta knock this guy out. He's saying he's like a piece of iron. He's noting how estimable his opponent is. So I think that it's the sliding scale moves during the movie, but he did not start out as an unsympathetic character. It's just it's convenient to overlook it, but it's there. So I think that makes him relatable.
And all the people speak for him. Brigitte Nielsen speaks for him. His hype man speaks for him. Like, this guy doesn't have a voice. In the director's cut, he tries to speak for himself, and they shut him down immediately. So I think this is just a guy who, and also too, in the 80s you had the doping scandal with the Russians, so I think he was tailor made for Americans to hate, or I don't know, everyone not Russian to hate, or Eastern European around that area, or Russians living abroad. You know what I mean? But I think he was tailor made to hate. But I also think Stallone was shrewd enough to, like, look at Apollo in the first one. You still like Apollo Creed. You like him in 1 and 2, and in 3, Clubber Lang. You have no reason to dislike Clubber. He's just a cocky guy. He's like,
he's a little mean.
Yeah.
I think he's mean.
But he's a boxer, and he's like, so you don't hate him. He's just a cocky athlete. So this one, I think
that's fair.
Yeah, I think this guy is just a tool for, he's clearly steroided. He's a tool. He doesn't speak. If he loses, he's done. He's got to know that. So, like, the amount of stress on this dude is crazy. So I just think, even the Creed movies do that to a certain extent. Jonathan Major's pretty tough in 3 because I know that he gets redeemed at the end, but I think all these movies are smart in not making them a 100% stone cold villain. All these people. And I also think just the revenge angle makes it good. And I don't know, it's just, but like, I guess just the flat top and the look of Dolph Lundgren make him so iconic. I don't know. So everyone loves Drago, right? Like, Vader's more. People know Vader more.
As a villain?
Yeah. Like Vader, Voldemort, definitely. The Emperor.
Well, Vader's
Hans
also
Gruber.
been mentioned in a lot of movies, or been mentioned in is so much more media as well.
Yeah. I guess it's just not many lines. There's a mystique there. He gets somewhat of an angle to it. And then the Cold War ends at the end of this movie. So you want to hear some fun stats, actually, that I found? There's 2 illegal takedowns. So Stallone called this a gutter war. He wanted to film this movie like a gutter war, like him and Bill Butler, the guy who shot Jaws. And then he said Drago lands 61 of his 72 punches in round 1. And then after landing 91 punches, Rocky cuts Drago. So Drago's got some tough skin. Rocky's stats after cutting Drago, he lands 17 of 18 punches. And then Rocky's 15th round, he lands 36 of 37 total punches.
He's got good accuracy.
Well, I also love that Drago hits so hard that he doesn't have to hit Rocky because his head just flies back.
I like that Rocky hits with the accuracy of Floyd Mayweather, but he actually tries to knock people out.
Yeah, and his arms don't turn into jelly.
That's the real suspension of disbelief too.
When you watch heavyweight boxing, there's a lot of jabs. The Klitschko's won on their jabs because these large guys.
Yeah.
Listen, remember Shane Carwin when he pummeled? I know he was on roids too, but like when he pummeled Brock Lesnar for 1 round, and then the second round his entire body tensed up because probably like all the lactic acid or like whatever build up in his muscles. It's like you can't exert yourself that much when you're 240 pounds, 265 pounds.
There was something similar in a different fight league. I can't remember what it was. That came out after UFC. It was a little more alternative.
PFL, Bellator.
Bellator. It was Bellator. And they had some wrestler, something Lachey, who and Lachey had huge.
Oh, Bobby Lashley.
Bobby Lashley. That's it.
Bellator.
It was that match. And even though he's big, he's got like 25 pounds on his opponent, and it's all muscle. It maybe even more than 25 pounds of the deficit. He had muscle on the guy. And in the second round, he actually has the guy in an arm lock, and he can't do anything about it because you can see he's so tired.
Yeah.
And you can actually see around his elbow joint where he's lost definition in his bicep to his forearm because of all the blood that's rushed. Because he was in a bad place in round 2. It might have been round 3. I might be it was a long time ago. But even though he had overtaken the guy on the ground, he had him in an arm lock, and he could. They're like, why isn't he? It's like, no, he can't. He's out. Look at it. Look at his face. He's gassed.
Right. So like, Drago throws that many punches and doesn't collapse to the ground. And Rocky.
Amazing conditioning, though.
Yeah. I mean, they train a lot. And listen, every time I watch this movie, I want to start doing pull-ups. So it does something right.
He's in such shape. He's in such good shape that if it wasn't for the fact that I have occasionally seen boxers in that condition, actually the Klitschko's, they usually did show up about that conditioned. But like most boxers, they're not coming in with like a vein on their chest.
Mm-mm.
Like you can't you're going to pass out if your body fat's down around like 10% or lower and you're fighting like that.
Yeah. You're not the 125 pounders in the flyweight division steamrolling around for 5 rounds
Right.
like Brandon Moreno just did.
Like a Tasmanian devil with like fists coming out of that dust ball.
But it still works though, and it's still fun because it's the Rocky world, and those fights were set up like that. And as far as pure entertainment and spectacle, so that's what he said he wanted with this, was spectacle. And like you said, it's exhilarating. This movie is hard to touch. Like, I think this is a movie that people our age love because were we just so inundated with it? And it's a good hangout picture. I know Apollo gets killed, but I hate saying that because he doesn't have to get killed. But it seems like a movie just put on and watch. Like it's just so easy to watch because it's like, I wouldn't say it's a full narrative. I wouldn't say it works totally as an interconnected movie. It's more of a bunch of scenes thrown together.
Yeah,
that still work.
As many times as I've seen it, but now that I was thinking about it more actively while watching in preparation for our episode, there's like a press conference about a fight between Creed and Drago, and then there's one scene like where Rocky and Apollo were talking at his house, and then it's like, okay, we're here in the locker room. The fight's in 3 minutes. So you sure you still want to? It's like there was no training. There was like all the conflict was before he even, which took place over a day, right? Creed's in his pool, sees something on the news. Hey, Rock, I'm coming over. He comes over. Oh, you sure you want to? Yeah, I want to do this. You sure you're not too? Don't you call me too old? And then it's like it just rifles right into that. But then the spectacle of the pre-fight shenanigans is so wild that's just all the stimulus you're reacting to now. You're not even thinking like, we got there fast. It's more like after it's done, you're like, man, he just killed Apollo Creed. I didn't even see Apollo like do a sit-up preparing for this. Like,
he was in dance shape.
He was in great. I mean, don't get me wrong. He showed up looking conditioned, but we did not see him do anything more than throw tennis balls at a golden retriever to prepare for this fight.
Exactly. And but you know what's great too? You show up and like, oh, it's a press conference moment, or you show up, oh man, Rocky's training right now, or you show up and you're like, oh, there's the robot, or he's driving in his car scene. There's just so many. You could step into this movie anytime. I think if you walked into, say, a Rocky Balboa or Rocky, you might be like, where am I? I mean, what's happening? Or maybe even a Creed 3. You walk in and you're like, what scene is this? But Rocky 4 is just like, bah, bah, da, 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 blah, blah, blah. Almost like the Mortal Kombat music. And it works. It does. You just can't doubt a movie that's this successful, that is in the zeitgeist.
Well, and so impactful.
Mm-hmm.
Look, Rocky's a great movie, right? It's a wonderful film. But if I get home from the gym and I throw on the TV back when I had cable and all the HBOs and stuff, and I turn it on and it's like Rocky's on, it doesn't matter if it's in the middle, the end, or the beginning. I might leave it on for 10 minutes for one scene, but that's probably, it's not like I'm in the mood to see Rocky any old time. It's actually very infrequent. Rocky 3 is just crazy enough I might leave it on for silly factor. But Rocky 4, that's a movie. Rocky 4 is like the replacements. Like anywhere that movie is, I am happy to pick up and see what I can see while I'm folding laundry in the living room.
Another movie that's just a bunch of scenes. Like, Shane, you're not with the team anymore because one quarterback is back. Like, hey, don't you need a backup? Like but it's beautiful. I love the replacements because to me, again, it's like, it's a collection of scenes. Oh, it's the line dancing scene. Yes. Oh, it's the cheerleading scene. Oh, it's the, I don't know, whatever. Gene Hackman puts a bunch of elephant jizz on Orlando Jones' hands. Yeah.
The wood glue or whatever. But I mean, they're great movies. Like, I mean, I could pick up any time for Jurassic Park, right? Like I could anytime.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Not that isn't a lot of set pieces after set pieces after set pieces, I guess.
Oh, the T-Rex scene. Oh, it's almost the water scene. But Spielberg is a different beast. And yeah. I think people forget sometimes the kind of grittiness of Rocky. Like, I think, or Saturday Night Fever, people just think about Travolta's dancing, but they forget about how gnarly that movie is.
Yeah, no, it's true. The first Rocky, like it's incredibly inspirational, but you really don't feel much uplifting for more than a few minutes until the end,
Which
until
is
the
a great
final
ending,
act.
and he just leaves.
But like all the stuff he's going through, meeting Adrian, it's very sweet, it's very grounded, it's very real. But like it is belabored also in a very real, grounded way. But it makes it so that it's not fun to relive that as much. You can love the movie, you can love these scenes, but I don't know. It's like he struggles to connect with her a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's I don't know if awkward's the word. It's only awkward in the way that most people, I think, struggle to make connections, in a real way, especially before all this internet shit, right? Boy, do I sound old. I'm gray, folks. Trust me, I'm very gray.
And Polly's being an abusive brother, and it's just...
Well, yeah, and there's that too. But it was... Yeah, you're right. It was all gritty. I mean, and even though it's iconic when he's training in, like, the meat locker, it's... There, like, that... When you think of like that's rough. He doesn't have options. That's why he's training in a meat locker.
I feel like you feel actual emotions watching Rocky, but Rocky Balboa, you just get pissed when Creed dies. Like, you don't feel... There's not a lot of sadness there because the movie just moves so fast onto the next thing. They're like, oh yeah, well, he's in the snow now. So you don't live in any certain emotions, so it's able to go by really quick. If that makes sense.
You're at a theme park and you're going to go on 8 different roller coasters today.
Yes, exactly.
Right? Because, I said there were 4 exhilarating scenes. I was wrong, right? Because there's a beginning montage. There's the Apollo Creed fight with all that shenanigans building up to it. We'll still call that one thing. There's the Rocky training montage and there's the Rocky fight. But hold on. Even both of the press conferences.
They're hilarious.
And then in a way, even though they're brief, they're so over the top. A couple of these scenes with the robot, and you're just like, what is happening? That's right, 1985. Like, you're drunk. And so it's like there's so much stimulus there. Whereas Rocky, instead of giving you a lot of stimulus, all the stimulus is really at the end. Rocky is asking you to feel things.
Mm-hmm. Well, it builds to something, and it's such a film, Oscar-winning film, that it asks you to ride the wave, whereas Rocky 4 is that wave pool that just keeps bombing you with waves,
right? Yeah,
every 30 seconds, and you're just, where am I? Oh, there's another one coming. Get back to it. Like sometimes you get under the wave and you're like, oh my gosh, and then you get up, you're like, oh, okay, I'm cool. So yeah, it's the wave pool of Rocky movies. Right.
So wait, does that mean that Rocky 3 is running through a car wash without a car?
Yes.
Where it's just pure nonsense and you get suds in your eyes.
You get wiped out by those things that go back and forth. So hey, John, I was thinking about something, and I want to do this. This movie's inspired by a true story, Rocky 4, the Max Schmeling and Joe Louis books. Actually, I read a really great book about it. I don't have it near me, but there's a great book about them and their fights. It's really great. But let's do a quick draft, John. Let's do a draft of inspired or based on a true story. So because I was thinking about today movies like Ford vs. Ferrari or Rush or Unstoppable, movies that I absolutely love, but are also inspired or based on a true story. So I will let you have first pick.
Catch Me If You Can.
Yeah. That's another one. So I can't think of a good term for this, John, but you think about Catch Me If You Can. You think about Ford vs. Ferrari. You think about maybe even a Rush or an Unstoppable. It's an action film, but there's no horrifying villains. There's no evil Russians. There's no... they're just movies, good movies. Does that make sense? Like they're just, yeah. All right. So you got Catch Me If You Can. So I gotta do Ford v Ferrari because it's beautiful.
That's a good one. I'm going to do Goodfellas.
You have Catch Me If You Can. I need to catch up here.
You only have one pick already. You got time.
Oh man. I guess, you know what a movie is I've really liked lately that's based on a true story is Black Klansman. I really like that movie.
That is a wild one. Okay, all right. You picked a wild one, so now I got to match you with a wild one. I want Pain and Gain.
Mike, I would say Michael Bay's best film.
Dude, I mean, I do love Transformers 1, first Transformers, but it's less filmy.
I would say Pain and Gain is a film.
Yeah. I mean, it's wild, but it's more crafted.
Okay. Okay. So that's a really, I, Tanya, Argo. That's like the perfect definition of a Moneyball.
I swear to God, that was my next goddamn
That's
pick.
where all this came from.
I
Moneyball.
love that movie.
So I'm working on
do.
I'm working on a Brad Pitt assignment. I'm turning my Brad Pitt eating article into a video for fandom, and I watched Moneyball again. It's perfect. It's a perfect movie. I love it so much. Okay, what's your?
Okay, you know what? I went on the wild train. I'm just gonna stay on it and go to the VIP booth with Wolf of Wall Street.
Ho, ho, ho. You have some huge ones here.
Doubling down on DiCaprio.
Oh, and Scorsese. He does a lot of good true story movies. Okay, so I gotta figure out a way to match you here. Oh man, I'm not doing Elvis. Zero Dark 30 is good. Rain Man is based on a true story. Ooh, The Pursuit of Happiness. King Richard, Money. Oh, okay. You know what? Since you did the big hitters, I'm gonna take Raging Bull.
Okay.
No, I'm not feeling it. I'm just doing that to like win. It's a perfect movie. But you shook me here. These are good. Oh, wait. I had a movie I want to do. I'm going to pick Unstoppable. It's going to lose it for me, but I love Unstoppable.
Unstoppable.
Ridley Scott's train movie.
That was based on a true story?
Yeah, well, inspired by a true story.
Okay, ready? I'm gonna do something a little clutch, all right? So everything I picked is more movies that brandish themselves a bit more. And I have two DiCaprio movies, so I want to keep DiCaprio going, but I'm gonna get a serious one. This Boy's Life.
Oh. This Boy's Life?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, and I just had a really good one. John.
Is that 5 for me?
Yeah. Oh, Apollo 13.
Ooh.
Oh, I had a really good one though. It's gonna lose me the thing though. But it's a really good one, John.
You never know how people are gonna react.
It's a really good one.
Oh my God, dude, pick Nightmare on Elm Street. You gonna pick Nightmare on Elm Street?
Zodiac. Oh yeah, that was inspired.
Zodiac.
Into the Wild.
That was a really cool one. Into the Wild.
You didn't pick The Big Short.
Oh, well, I get, yeah, you're right. You know what's funny is that when you said that, you know what I almost said? I almost said, but that's not based on a true story. But like, even though all the characters and everything, that movie, I love it. I do.
All right, so I have Ford v Ferrari, Black Klansman.
Dude, you should take that. That's a good one. I would have, dude. If I had that in my head, I would have done that over This Boy's Life.
Oh, here, I'll give it to you.
And it would have couples well with Moneyball.
The Big Short. I'll give it to you.
You take it.
I don't want it. You like it more than me. I'm not a real big shorter. I like it a lot. I really do. But there's a movie, John, that's in my head, and I'm flipping through here.
Dude, you should take This Boy's Life.
I think Zodiac would probably win it for me. I'm gonna edit this out, John. Don't worry. Don't you worry. I know I gotta get you out of here soon too.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh shit.
Inspired by Ed Gein. It's inspired by Ed Gein. I mean, it's not really inspired by a true story. It's inspired by.
But that's all we need.
A guy who did something weird,
like,
right?
This was inspired. Like Rocky IV was inspired by a true story. But I had one, John. I had it. I had a good one. I had a really good one. All right, I know we got to get
Dude, Aaron Brockovich.
Lone Survivor, Miracle.
Ooh, that's a bomb. That's a bomb to be dropped.
I love Miracle. Yeah, fuck it. I'm just gonna pick Miracle.
Is that I forget? Is that our next Kurt Russell movie?
Yep, that is our next Kurt Russell movie.
Yeah.
So you have Catch Me If You Can, Goodfellas, Pain and Gain, The Wolf of Wall Street, and The Big Short. I have Ford v Ferrari, Black Klansman, Moneyball, Unstoppable, and Miracle. I like it. This will be fun. But any final thoughts about Rocky IV?
It's so good. Like, Rocky IV is so good that all I can do is sit here like a fool who's just been like neuralized in Men in Black and be like, it's so good. If you're listening to this and you haven't seen Rocky 3, I'd say go see Rocky 1. If you haven't seen Rocky 2, I'd say go see Rocky 1 first, right? If you haven't seen Rocky 5 or Rocky Balboa, I'd be like, did you see Rocky? Go see Rocky 1. But if you haven't seen Rocky 4, I'd say just go see it. I don't care if you've seen the other Rocky movies. I don't think it matters.
No, it doesn't matter.
I mean, it helps. It does help, but it's not important.
I think this is the one movie you have to watch. This is the one movie you can just watch. Just Rocky 4. Like you don't need the others. Like you can't. I wouldn't start with Rocky 2. Creed definitely not. You can't start with Creed 2. Like you just watch Rocky 4.
If I die having watched a Rocky movie, any Rocky movie, a total of 100 times, I'll bet that Rocky 4 is 50% of those viewings, at least. Maybe 80%.
Easy.
I'm not even kidding. Maybe 80%.
75%. No.
And I mean start to finish viewings too. Not like I watched 20 minutes this day and 20 minutes that day. I think like 80% of 100 viewings of Rocky movies would be Rocky 4.
But you know what Rocky 4 does? There's so many flashbacks. It just tells you. You don't even need to watch the other movies. Just watch Rocky 4 because it tells you through all the flashbacks. I love it. Well, this was awesome, man. Thank you for joining me. I forgot to mention this, but every 26th episode now is going to be a Dolph Lundgren episode. So 25th is Kurt Russell, 26th is Dolph Lundgren.
In honor of how somewhere around, I want to say 400 episodes ago, because from the start we were doing every 25th was Kurt Russell. Way back when it was suggested that when we're done with Kurt Russell films, we'll start Dolph Lundgren. Now we're not done with Kurt Russell films. But we've done a lot of them.
we have a decent amount left too, but it's good to get some fresh blood in here.
We're going to transition in. Got to keep our older listeners happy and our younger listeners reintroduced to movies that they might have never realized they really need to see.
Like Dark Angel and Rocky 4.
Dude, Dark Angel. Speaking of, how about I Come in Peace?
Yep, that's it.
Dolph Lundgren.
Same movie. They're beautiful.
Was that the same movie?
Yeah, I Come in Peace was the American title and Dark Angel was the European.
I don't know why. I swear I thought they were two different movies.
Them and their space gun. Like these asshole aliens are chasing us. I love it, man. Well, hey, where can people find you, John?
Well, they can just type in John's Horror Corner and they'll find me every which way that they can possibly find me online.
Yeah.
Especially on your website.
And Twitter, Instagram. John is everywhere. He's right behind you right now. All right, man. Well, hey, thank you so much for joining me, John.
Yep. Have a good night, man.
All right. So for me, Mark Hoffmeyer, for John Leavengood, this is Movie Films and Flicks. We'll see you next week.